Well, hello, everybody. Again, it is that time for all friends to get together and sit and talk tech. I would like to go ahead, and it is my honor and privilege to go ahead and introduce one of the titans of this space, Juan with NeftyBlocks. These guys, with their innovation and their rapid growth, but still keeping that sense of small community, is absolutely amazing. We love it. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I kind of made sure we got into this space of wax and stuff like that when I was talking with David was the fact that you guys were starting to do something for the smaller businesses that needed that extra hand to create the packs easily and get all that stuff done. So, wow.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's I don't even know what to say. It's
Just smile, nod, and just accept all the praise because y'all are worth it, man. Y'all are worth it. And with me today is my CEO, the man, the myth, the legend in his own mind, Mr. David Werba.
Hi guys, Juan. It's a pleasure to be here with you, man. Look forward to the chat.
And as always, we have the new voice of EverSmart, the gorgeous, the irrepressible, the lovable, the one with all the questions that you could ever imagine. And sometimes she even has her own answers. The Jen.
Good morning. I'm happy to see everyone. I'm especially excited to see you, Juan, because I did get a chance to interview you a couple months ago. I know you've been interviewed by many people, so if you don't remember me, I'm totally okay with that. But it was one of my favorite interviews. So I've been looking forward to this for a while.
And cool. And I do remember you because we were just chatting with Nick before the show started. And he said, "Oh, Jennifer, the Jen." So yes, I remember too. Absolutely.
That's fun. Well, hopefully I have some new questions this time that won't make me look quite so green. First thing that I have here, just the question that's on everybody's mind, the announcement that was in your Discord this morning about the suspension of whitelisting. I have a bunch of questions. I had questions around that anyway, but now I have better questions. Why was the decision made?
Okay, it's well, the decision was made because in the last month we verified two creators that ran away with all the wax that they stole from collectors. And we think that we are doing something wrong with the verifications. So we decided to stop and redefine our process. And oh, sorry, I don't know what happened. I have something in my eye.
Oh, I understand completely.
Sorry. But yeah, that's basically what happened. So we felt well, I would not say responsible for what happened, but I think that we're not helping enough with our verification system. We are not being as helpful to the ecosystem as we thought, and we had to rethink a little bit and design a new verification process. So that's why we decided to stop. Since we started, I thought that we should never be the ones judging if a team is competent, if a team is reliable, and so on. So I thought, okay, just knowing with whom we are doing business should be enough. But now I realized I was wrong, and we need to come up with a better process.
Okay.
Yes, and that's also part of the reason why we are the way we are at EverSmart Labs. David summed it up really well in his post, and in our theory, we've got something we call sustainable gamification. I'm going to let David talk about that because what you just said right there is completely like either tangentially or you're running dang near parallel in lines with what we've got. So, David?
Yeah, I mean, like what we call sustainable gamification. I mean, it's a reaction to exactly what you're talking about. You know, the projects that, you know, it's kind of like a premeditated rug pull that I've seen. I've seen so many of them, like dozens, maybe hundreds, you know, over the past few years. And a lot of those are anonymous projects, right? And you know, it's a hot debate, right? Like we talked about this with Ken Bozak a little. You know, his view is like, hey, it's, you know, it's all on the buyers or the users' responsibility, right? Like if they don't do their research and then the team disappears, it's like, hey, you know, what can you say? But I lean a little more towards the other side of it because, you know, setting up an LLC and is not that hard to do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like it's like a 6-month process that costs 10 grand. I mean, you can set one up for under $100, and, you know, just kind of being more professional about it. If you're really gonna build what you lay out on your website or in your social media, if you're actually going to do that, why wouldn't you take some simple steps like that? And yeah, like, you know, like the Go Pepe and the Chibis, you know, there's a bunch of projects on Wax and obviously other blockchains that, you know, they made quite a bit of money and they just wanted to hold on to their anonymous status, and people question it. It's like, well, why? What's the real answer for this? And then all of a sudden they disappear, and it's like, all right, well, I guess that is the answer, right? That's why you want to maintain anonymity. And so, yeah, I mean, there was no way, no chance we were gonna try and take that approach ourselves. We have a very big operation, you know, offline that is connected to everything that we're doing. We have, you know, yeah, we went through the process happily. It, you know, it takes a little longer than what most people would like, but yeah, we had no issue whatsoever with that. So yeah, go ahead, Juan.
No, and it's just this. Look, you have a channel and you're streaming and you are showing your face to all your audience, to your collectors, to everybody. So that gives a lot of trust because it's the same for us. For example, I'm in a lot of shows and I'm showing my face. I would never like to be, for example, at a restaurant, at an airport or whatever with my family and have people pointing their fingers at me. Look, this is the guy who ran away with our money. No,
Right.
That will simply not happen. If I'm public, it's because I have nothing to hide. I want to live peacefully and only do as the best I can, and that's it.
Exactly.
And that's what I expect from projects.
I mean, do you want to maybe reveal a couple of the extra layers of verification you guys are thinking about, or you're not ready for that?
Well, we have been brainstorming a lot, and we haven't reached a full conclusion of how we are going to do it. But one thing that we are thinking is that every collection that we verify from now on will have to submit a video pitching their project, and the person who's pitching the project will have to match the one who got KYC'd. So that person has to be able to speak and defend their project.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're not willing to put your reputation, your face, your, you know, whatever on the line, then you don't really need to be playing in this space. Because, you know, and I understand there's a lot of artists out there that are probably going to crucify me for that statement, you know, because artists, they like their anonymity. They like the fact, you know, that like we're this ethereal thing. We're weird. We're kind of in our own little space and stuff like that. But if you really want to go ahead and make your project legit, you don't have to make it legit to the people out front, you know, behind, you know, in front of NeftyBlocks. You have to make it legit to the people of NeftyBlocks. You're saying to them, hey, I want to be in your house. I want to represent NeftyBlocks. I want to take their name and bring it up. So you better be willing to put your face in front of there. So yes, I
thought about this too, Nick. Like, what's wrong with an agent? You know, if an artist has an agent, like and the agent that represents the artist is the one that's dealing with the verification, would something like that work? Juan?
Well, I think that will work. That will definitely work. But then the agent should have some legal proof that he is allowed to commercialize the art of these guys,
Right.
and it can be multiple artists, and that's okay.
Yeah, and that's perfect because number one, you're covering NeftyBlocks behind because you're doing your due diligence in here. You're not saying, it's not just some guy saying, "Ah, I'm an agent and I'm going ahead and I'm representing this guy over here." If you go ahead in your KYC, you say, "Hey, you're acting on behalf of David Werba. So please go ahead and get me something either notarized on legal letterhead, blah 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 blah, that says David Werba. I'm legally, required to act in your stead here." So this way, it removes you and NeftyBlocks from that whole thing. So if David says, "Hey, you screwed me over on this," NeftyBlocks, you're in the clear because you've done all of your KYC stuff. It's my fault now, and then you can just go, it's up to you.
Yeah, I think that in the end, it's a shared responsibility, because the collector also has a big responsibility here. He has to do his own research. Even if we verify someone, well, we can make mistakes. So I think that everybody should really do his own research before buying an NFT. It's like everything in the world of crypto. When you buy any token, any coin, you know that there's risk involved, and if you don't do your own research, then the risk is even bigger. If it's only because there's a lot of hype around something that you're buying, then I think that you're doing something wrong.
All right, Jen, I promise I won't interrupt too much. I know you got a ton of questions here.
Oh,
So
that's all good.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm just curious, in changing your procedures a bit, how is it going to bring you closer to or further from the way that Atomic Hub does things?
Yeah, that's a difficult question, and I don't know. And in the past, I even thought, okay, this verification thing should be a joint effort, something we do all together in WAX, and there should be like a central verification authority that takes care of this. And in my opinion, that was the way to do it. But then we approached Atomic Hub. Well, Jose, my co-founder, approached them, and they said, no, every marketplace has to struggle with this on their own. Okay, then we have to go our way, and but to some extent I understand it, but it's just not the way I like to do things, because I think that we can be competing in some things, but I think that we could both, and not only Atomic and NeftyBlocks, but also NFT Hive and many other marketplaces, we could all benefit from this kind of verification.
Absolutely. And a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, well, a central place to get verified, that goes against the whole decentralization of Web3 and stuff like that." I hate to be the guy to bear the bad news. It doesn't matter how decentralized you are. If you don't have one small point of centralization, everything just goes down the tubes.
But even that unified verifications can be decentralized. There could be a NeftyBlocks representative, an NFT Hive representative, an Atomic Hub representative, and you have like a DAO, and you vote for decisions. You can do things together. So I think there are many ways to collaborate without completely removing the decentralization.
Correct.
I really like that idea, and now I want to see it happen. So now I know where the future is. So this decision to change the verification process, does it apply to a specific set of creators, like artists or game developers, or is it for everybody, or how does that all come together?
Well, that's one of the things that we are still discussing. We think that with games and in general, anyone who's promising profits or earnings or whatever, we will be stricter with the verification. And of course, if it's only an artist, then maybe it should be less difficult. But still, we are planning to have different categories, and you have to apply for verification within that specific category. For example, if you are only a collectible, you're in the collectibles category. If it's art, it's art. If it's a game, then it's a game. And if the community reports you were verified to be an art collection, but you are offering play to earn and tokens, the community should report you, and you should lose your verified status if you do things like that.
Okay, that all makes sense. What about something I'm thinking of, an art project that offers blends, and then whatever you blend to get, whatever you get from the blend is then stakeable on someone else's platform. What kind of a category does that fall into?
Yeah, that's a difficult question, and that's something that we still have to figure out. But yes, it's a very good question.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that earlier and I couldn't come up with a good answer either, because it's not exactly promising a return on investment, but it's staking, and so no, I don't know. So
yes, we kind of have we're kind of piecing together something like that, like we're like EverSmart, the EverSmart Lab series that we're launching, where we've come up with this new title called the EverSmart Meta Game, because we get asked a lot. It's like, well, what is it? It's not a web app, right? We're not building a play to earn web application where you're, logging in with your wallet and actually, doing actions in a virtual platform. But like Jen said, we will have blends, we'll have, different artists coming in and doing pieces for us. And that's somewhat of a game, I guess, right? It's just, but we call it a meta game because it sits in that space between the real world and the virtual world, right? So yeah. Thoughts on that one? Like, is that we already see a lot of it, right? And I think we're going to see more, and it's yeah,
I mean, with people that came before us, like Our Planet and stuff like that, they kind of paved that way, and now it's like, okay, people are going to start imitating it, people are going to start perfecting it. So unfortunately, it's going to put people like poor Juan here in a position.
Yes, but in the end, there's no verification that is 100% reliable. So that's why I think you should never trust the verification. But for example, for me, it will be easy to verify a collection like yours, because you are public, you are showing your face, than trying to verify a collection from someone who's behind an avatar and has never even assisted an interview with an influencer and so on. So yeah, if someone is public, I think that's the first step. Doesn't mean that by being public you're sure that everything will be fine. And on the other hand, your project might not be successful. That might happen. Your project will not succeed, and you will have to go out of business. And yeah, that might also happen. And I think it's legit. And collectors should also be aware of that. There's nothing really written anywhere saying that every project that launches will be successful. Right. There are not only scams, but also unsuccessful projects. There are bad ideas, or there are good ideas poorly implemented. So that can also happen.
Yep.
That's a good point.
It's thinking like that gets you guys to earn a very well accumulated award like this, the top 21 guild on wax. Congratulations on that. See, you thought you were going to get away with that, and not being able to, get the kudos for it. But on here, no, we spread the love and we make sure that everybody knows. Just, we're innovating too. We're sitting there, we're pushing the boundaries, and we're doing stuff every day as well. And it's because of people like you that we're able to do this kind of stuff. So, yeah, we're just following really good examples, and we're with you guys the whole way.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Jen, didn't mean to derail you. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. So if there are projects out there that are looking to be verified under whatever the new policy will end up being, let's say that somebody is a keener like me and wants to get prepared in advance, what can they start working on or building up or putting together this weekend that would be helpful?
I think that the most important is being able to explain your project, why you are doing this, and what is your value offer for the collectors, for your audience.
Okay.
And of course, show you have an audience, or show how you are planning to build this. All of this, I think it's very important.
Okay, that sounds pretty decent. And another question that I had from before that kind of fits in here. If there's going to be a bit more of a verification process, at what point, or does it ever become appropriate to charge a fee associated with that?
Oof, that's a good question, and we have never wanted to charge a fee for verification because we think that's not the way to go. But yeah, I don't know. I think that we never thought that was a good idea.
I don't disagree. I don't like the idea personally, and even talking about it makes me feel kind of uncomfortable. But at some point too, if you're spending, if you have 2 or 3 people spending all their time doing verification, then it becomes more of a valid question.
Well, the other thing that I'm thinking about where that could even possibly begin to start coming in question would be, let's say all of a sudden you get somebody like Tops coming in to yell, and they're going to have 30, 40 projects coming and being like, here, verify this, something like that. I believe, because that is so a normal project would be like, hey, I've got 1 or 2, maybe 3, and that could be good. But if I'm coming in and I'm bringing in just this big semi truck and going, here's all of our collections, there I could probably see something like that.
Yeah, but for example, just imagine this. Imagine that you are this big publisher that comes and you have lots of different brands that you're going to release. Then it becomes very easy because I can make a framework, a contractual framework with you. We have a contract, and then we have lots of addendums. But I already know who you are, and you just have to come and, okay, this is this brand. Look here. Here's the proof that we are allowed to represent it, and then you come with another brand. Okay, here's that, and we are kind of attaching everything to a contract we already have with you. So that's kind of well, I think that's even easier.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe we can help out here, Nick. I'm thinking about this. I'm brainstorming where it's like for people that they want to get verified or whitelisted on NeftyBlocks, and Juan just said they'd like to see like video proof of their existence, their identity. Maybe we can have them on the show. And we could help out in that process, and then just send our show, or they could send our YouTube link to Juan. Just say, hey, we just had an interview, so it's not, because we want to do that stuff anyway, and it's like maybe it helps you guys taking time off your schedule where we can assist with that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, and like I said at the beginning, we're here because of you, so we'll help you guys out I can't talk. We'll help you guys in whatever way we possibly can. So that
cool. Thanks.
So I have another question, changing gears a bit here. You have a new tool that launched today for, I believe, NFT bundle listings.
Yes. Well, it's not for bundle listings.
Not for bundle listings. Okay. So how does it work, and what exactly is it?
Well, it's a bulk listing feature that other marketplaces already had it. We had planned it, but we could not release it together with the new marketplace. So we just released that today. And basically what that does is that it allows you to go to your inventory of NFTs and select multiple NFTs at the same time to list them on the secondary market.
Okay, I like that.
So yeah, basically it's a tool to make life easier for collectors to sell their NFTs on the secondary market, and we have a couple of options there. For example, you can list all the selected NFTs at the last sold price, or you can go and list them 1% below the lowest market price, just to allow people to sell their NFTs faster.
I saw that. I love that feature. The other thing, the marketplace, it has launched. It's been a bit now, so you've had a chance to take a look at it and analyze it a bit. What are you happy with, and what are you looking forward to changing?
Ooh, well, I have to say we are very happy with the release, but we are still working on that and adding lots of functionality. The first thing are these bulk listing and bulk edit of current listings. I think that in the upcoming days we will see bulk transfers. We will see bulk burning of NFTs. We might even add bulk buying in the future, that you can say, I want this, click, 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 and buy multiple NFTs in a single operation. That kind of things we are already working on. And yeah, from the marketplace perspective, that is something that that we are working on actively at the moment.
Yeah, those words that just came out of your mouth there, right there, Juan. I'm seeing like at least 2,000 to 4,000 people going, "Oh my God, when is this coming? I want this. I want this now. Holy cow!" So wow,
Yes.
that's fantastic.
I love that. Yeah, I'm just excited. I've been dropping by your website every couple of days here, just taking a look around, like, ooh, that's new and shiny. So that's all exciting to me. And I heard that you automated the process for making banner ads, which is absolutely wonderful. How's that been
Yes.
going?
Well, that's very nice. It's not 100% automation. There is one manual step, and that is that, well, creators now can go to the creator page. There's a tool, a form where they can check the banner schedule, and they can select the spaces where they want to advertise, and they submit their banner. And there is one step for verification, because we don't want yeah, we don't want people to
Yeah,
publish something that is extremely
awful.
violent or pornography or things like that. But that's the only manual step that remains there. And even if someone does not want, wants to change his mind and he's not publishing the banner, he can get a refund if he cancels the latest, I think, 24 hours before the banner launches. So yeah,
Okay.
everything there is automated, because when we started, it was a manual process, and it was so error prone that
Oh
we
yeah.
said, no, we needed
Yeah.
something better here.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So if I don't have anything, if I haven't created anything through NeftyBlocks, am I allowed to use the banner advertising, or is that exclusive to Nefty creators?
I think that the only requisite for that is that you have to be whitelisted or verified on Atomic, or verified on NeftyBlocks, and then
Okay.
you can use it.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super curious. And what other opportunities might there be in the future for some collaborative advertising?
Ooh, I don't know. For advertising, I don't know. I think there are lots of possibilities, but I don't know yet.
I mean,
Okay.
obviously it's popular because when we were putting our banner up, it was almost book solid for like 2 weeks, right? We were
Yep.
struggling to get a little slot in there, so there's
Yes.
high demand. So yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Yes, and something that we are still um, pending to include in the banners, is that something we offered in the beginning was that level 3 collections, staking level 3 collections, should be able to get free banners when available. The problem is that they were never available. Now there are sometimes banners available, but we don't have a way to communicate with them and tell them, okay, you can have your banner right now. So what we are coming up with is that we will ask every staking level 3 collection to give us a default banner. And when there is no banner published, we will randomly pick one, and it will be published for that collection.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
yeah, I think maybe it's not the ideal solution, but we hope that will work.
Yep.
I like
So
that.
what I think Jen was also kind of alluding to is, besides just like the banner, I mean, we're sitting here on, a social media platform, and we've got Twitter, we've got, Facebook, we've got all that kind of stuff. Let's say a project like ours was like, hey, you guys have a really good Twitter following. How much Nefty would it be to go ahead and put a shout out in your thing? You know, would those type of opportunities ever be
Okay,
opened?
those opportunities are already open. You just have to approach Chris. I think you approached Chris to schedule this interview.
Yes.
Just approach him, and if your project is a solid project, we are more than happy to retweet, to do collaborations from that point of view,
Okay.
and all of that. We are very open to help creators. In the end, it's in the best interest of the community, of the Wax ecosystem. So yes, of course, we want to do that kind of things.
You just made a great statement right there. You went back to your roots right there. It's all about the community. You're putting, I mean, without a hesitation, your first words were, hey, let's see what we can do to help the community. And that, once again, is why NeftyBlocks is starting to, you know, just sit there and go up that skyrocket right there. Because while you guys sit there and grow, I know people like you and I know people like Diego and all the people on your staff, you remember that you were once the community too. And that's the amazing part. And I hope and I pray that you guys never lose that part, because that is one of the reasons why you will succeed and you will pretty much be a behemoth in this whole thing. I guarantee it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that there you said something important, and it's that for us, the community, it's basically everything. And I think that I shared this with someone recently. We were in a talk with someone from another marketplace, and he was arguing the biggest asset of a marketplace is its liquidity. And you know, I cannot disagree more. I think the biggest asset of a marketplace is its community, of any project. Your community, it's the only thing you have. Maybe tomorrow there's no
liquidity is a byproduct. The liquidity is a byproduct of a solid community.
Yes.
So yeah, and that's why you're kind of, you know, taking more market share as time progresses, as you're building community, introducing staking and all these tools. It's all part of it, right? And coming on interviews like this, yeah, it's great.
Absolutely. So speaking of community, what hit my ears from everybody else before I saw it directly from Nefty was the rewards. The day that launched, I found it, did a little extra digging maybe, but there was a lot of enthusiasm about it. So tell me a little bit more about that. When was the reward system dreamed up?
Well, since we released the Nefty token, that was August, end of August last year, we started a rewards program. But we were only incentivizing trading and activity on the platform with rewards for traders. But soon we realized that that was not enough, because if you have a token that it's only used to give rewards, that becomes worthless very quickly. So we said there's something wrong in our design, and we said, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and come up with a better idea. And that's why we decided to incentivize people who are providing liquidity. So now part of the rewards goes to providing liquidity, and that helps having a healthier way to exchange the token against Wax without impacting the price every time you want to buy or sell something.
In a word, it's sustainable, Juan, and that's what I love about it. That's how we're, in a similar path here. Yeah, the like layer 2 tokens and layer 2+ tokens, it's like you kind of have to build a smart design like that. Otherwise, yeah, it doesn't work. I mean, we've seen so many just not work, hoping that people would just buy it because they like it, right? I mean, that's nowhere near enough to build a healthy liquid ecosystem. So yeah.
Yes. So that's important. The liquidity also still give rewards for trading, but also give rewards for staking, because that will motivate people to keep the token and not sell it immediately. So the idea is to find this balance. And we also added one additional feature, which is not evident to everybody, because somehow it's not advertised on the website, and is that all the money that we receive for the banners, banners are only paid with a Nefty token now.
Right.
And all of those tokens are locked and will be burned. So we are also making the token deflationary. So that should also help to make the ecosystem way healthier than what it was.
Yeah, and full disclosure here, I mean, as we have our own collection and we're going to be continuing to mint, more NFT series this year and beyond. I was talking to Nick the other day. I'm like, should we unstake our Nefty? And it's like, well, wait, we'll probably just always leave it there, right? Because we're a level 3 royal, and we want to get the benefits of that. It's like, if we're going to keep launching series, it doesn't even make sense to unstake it, right? So as more collections are launching projects and building on NeftyBlocks, they're all doing the same thing, and that creates scarcity, right? It's just basic economics there, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned the Nefty Royals, that was, there was something unexpected, because we saw that in the first days there was a lot of movement, and there were some creators buying more Nefty just to get up in the Nefty Royals.
Yeah.
Because and that was fun, and we didn't expect that, and now that is giving us some ideas of how to gamify the Nefty Royals to see collections competing for the first places there.
Yeah.
That kind of leads nicely into the next question, which was, what's next for the tokenomics? Is anything next, or are we just going to see how this goes for a while? Or
well, right now we will check how it evolves. We have to let it work for a while and see what happens. But what comes next is incentivizing the activity on the secondary market, and that's very important. And that's why on April 4th, because March is right now, yes. April 4th, we will release the Nefty Quest. And the Nefty Quest is a trading competition to incentivize the secondary market.
all right.
Okay.
All right. I've seen some of those. Okay.
I'm curious now.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and well,
Emanate did that, and that invigorated the market quite a bit. And yeah.
Yeah, so there what we will have is that there will be a leaderboard, and people will be competing to get there. And only by buying and selling NFTs on the secondary market, you will get points for the number of NFTs that you buy, but also for the amount of wax that you spend. So it will be a combination.
Wow.
Plus,
okay.
we will be selecting NFTs from certain collections that will directly boost the amount of points that somebody can get. So every week we will say, okay, these 10 NFTs are worth extra points, so that we help also creators boost their sales a little bit.
How do you choose? How do you choose which ones?
We will choose between the collections that are staking Nefty. So those will be the first ones. But that said, we also want some weeks, because this will last at least 24 weeks. If it's successful, we will extend it. But some weeks we want to include NFTs from very small creators, to give them also the chance to show their NFTs and to get some activity there.
Oh, yeah. The only reason David was asking that question, we want to find out how much Nefty to get to bribe you.
Yeah, how do we get,
that's what everyone wants to know.
Yeah, so that's it. But there's more to this, and with the Nefty Quest, the top 3 traders every week will be receiving Nefty rewards, something I would say considerable amount of Nefty. But additional to that, all the traders that make that are really participating on the Nefty Quest, there will be a minimum threshold of trading to really be considered part of the competition. But all the participants will get dropped some NFTs, and these NFTs will be usable in something that we call the Nefty Shop. And that is something we will release 2 weeks after the Nefty Quest starts. And in the Nefty Shop, there will be initially there will be 3 kinds of things. In the future, there can be more. But there will be NFTs from play to earn games that you will be able to burn your NFTs to get to get these NFTs from the play to earn games. You will also be able to get Nefty surprise boxes, which will be NFTs or packs that will deliver you a random amount of Nefty as a reward. And this is the one I love the most, and it's that we already have a contract that allows us to redeem NFTs for items of the real world. So what we have, what we will get there, for example, if with your NFTs you burn them and get an NFT representing a T-shirt, then you will be able to go to a web shop and when you redeem the NFT, you will receive a code, and with this code, you go to the web shop and will receive the real T-shirt at home. And the idea is that these T-shirts should be T-shirts also with designs from the staking level 3, level 2, and level 1 collections. We want to include everybody here.
Beautiful.
That is an absolute ton of fun, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all of that. Yeah,
we are very excited with that and working a lot to make it happen as soon as possible. But yeah,
that is definitely exciting, and that kind of did also answer my question about redemption of real world goods and how that would all work.
Yes, basically that's a smart contract, and we also have an API because all the codes have to live off chain. If the codes were on chain, well, they will be immediately revealed, so they are worthless. So all the codes live in an API, and we only have on chain a redemption table where we keep track of which NFT was redeemed, and that's related to the API that sends the user an email with his with the code for what he wants to claim in the
code,
shop.
yeah.
Yes, with the redemption code.
Okay, so this is a bit in the future question here. As a creator, let's say that I have an NFT collection that is linked to some real world goods. When can I look forward to launching that on Nefty?
As soon as we have validated the concept and make sure that it's working as expected, we will open it to staking level 3 collections, and then slowly we will start opening it for all the staking collections.
That's absolutely fantastic, because that's the only problem that I have with art, and it may just be my own problem, is that I prefer for things to be practical. I'd rather have my art on some clothing or on a coffee mug or something that I can actually use, take with me. If I could turn most of my art NFTs into something physical, I would be absolutely delighted.
Yes, and you know, in the end, it's not only something physical, because then if you have something like that, for example, redeeming an entrance to a concert, or redeeming, well, I don't know, a membership at a club, or a cup of coffee, or whatever. It's the possibilities are limitless.
I absolutely love that. So I think it's time to turn this over and take some questions from the comment section here.
All right, let me go ahead and start off with a friend of ours named Jeff Pierce. Jeff wants to know how are you, or how do protect against the next Billy McFarland Fire Festival? If you may not know what
I had to look that up. Yeah.
Yes,
so the Fire Festival was this big thing. You know, they're like going, yeah, we're going to have these performers here. We're going to give you guys these ecosystem where you'll have, you know, prime
like
rib,
a Burning Man copy, right?
Yeah.
But it never happened.
Yeah.
Like I think he raised.
It did happen.
Well,
David,
it happened.
but it was
people went there.
Yes.
And there was nothing. They were like in this island, and they were like, what do we do here? Because there's nothing.
Oh, there's just nothing there.
There was absolutely nothing there, man.
Around.
The gourmet meal that they got was like a salad with 3 pieces of lettuce, a little bit of dressing, some cheese, and something else. I forget what the heck it was. I remember seeing that. I'm going, oh dear God. So, So what I think Jeff is asking is, besides all the stuff that you guys have in place, and are thinking about moving to, is there another way that you guys would want? If we could wave that magic wand and say, how would we protect? What would that third way be?
Oh, I think that is an extremely difficult question, to be honest, because there are really professionals doing this. Come on, this Fire Festival,
Yeah,
that was not organized by an amateur. That was organized by a professional con artist. And it's very difficult to
I think it's in a different lane, I think, because it's like, a lot of the NFT stuff we're talking about, I mean, they're collectibles and they're, some of them have utility, some of them are game assets, this and that. So it's not really like, by buying them, you're not like investing in the company behind it. You're just kind of buying a product, really. So that's a tough one, because it's like there's so many, we've contributed to some of this narrative, and there were some articles recently come out. I think it was a friend of ours in Discord saying what this like roadmaps out there, right? It's almost like there's like 2,000 roadmaps that are carbon copies of each other, right? And they're all like, we're gonna have a merch store, we're gonna have a metaverse, we're gonna have some staking, whatever. It's like there's all this like similar story, and all the images are carbon copies. You see most of the stuff on Ethereum where it's
either literally an ape, or it's an ape, a melting ape, a ape with weird hats on it, an ape that has a drooling lip, an ape that has this. Oh wait, we're sick and tired of apes. Okay, great. Let's go to dogs. Let's go to cats. Let's go to foxes. Let's go to this.
And their roadmaps literally are like almost word for word. Hundreds and hundreds of these projects. You go to their websites and it's literally the same exact wording, right? And very few of them actually follow through, and they're all trying to be a Bored Ape, but I don't know. That's a tough one, because it's not an investment in the company. You're really just buying speculative assets and products. But I don't know.
I don't know. So he came up with a little bit more here. The point was, if there was a person who doesn't care if they're known, they're still willing to game the system and pull the rug. Well, in that case, we got to kind of get it down a little bit. I'm speculating a little bit here, so I apologize for answering your question there, Juan. But you would need to have something that would have like some kind of digital DNA in it, so you could go ahead and say that this NFT was minted by this guy on this day and stuff like that. So when the rug does get pulled, there could be a way to trace that back to the minter and stuff like that. And hopefully it'll deter, out of all the bad actors, it'll deter 3/4 of the bad actors in there.
Yeah, there might be some technology coming out that might help with that. But go ahead.
And I think that there's a lot of people complaining about rug pulls and so on. But if you are very objective, very critical of the NFT space, there are lots of collections published by very well-known people in the ecosystem that offer, this will be the next big game, and you can move from this to chain to this chain, and blah, 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 blah. They sell a lot, and 3 months later, nothing is delivered. And they go to the big marketplaces and they say, hey man, can you waive this collection for me? Can you give me the double check? And they just get it. And they come on with a big sale, and the NFTs are worthless 3 months after this.
That's true. So anonymity
and nobody calls
that
a rug pull. But it's the same thing. It's exactly the same.
That's true.
There's a lot of projects not adding value in the ecosystem. And what can we do about it? Nothing. I think there I am fully with Ken. And do your own research.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, and by the way, you going blah 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 blah. That's gonna be my new favorite NFT that I'm gonna have to make really soon, man. That was awesome. All righty. And now another one that should be near and dear to your guys' heart, coming from Roger Lavicatore. Hopefully I said that right. If not, I apologize. All the development Nefty has been doing is awesome. Can Juan talk a little bit about Nefty's plan for Betsy? They seem like a
Yes.
perfect staking candidate. Wait, so you mean this gorgeous thing right here? This little girl?
Well, I think there are many Betsies, and yes, there's a plan for Betsies. And now that when we release the Nefty Quest, what we will use to reward people are called rubies. Those will be ruby NFTs. And what we will have is that you will be able to burn some of those Betsies to exchange them for rubies, and then with those rubies you will be able to go to the Nefty Shop and buy some stuff. Because I really want to get rid of that amount of Betsies and Pioneer passes that are flying there, and that people drops in our Discord now and then asking, hey, what can I do with this Pioneer pass? What can I do with this Betsy?
Yeah.
Okay, we will allow you to burn them to get some rubies and go to the shop and buy stuff there.
Excellent. I
There we
just
go.
looked
There
in
we
my
go.
wallet. I have one of those. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And for those of you who may just gotten vertigo by me doing that, I apologize. All of a sudden, my mouse was just clicked and it was going across every single scene we had. So nice little whirlwind here for that whirlwind of discussion. So the next one that we have, and it's going to be the last one for the day, is going to be from RT Educators. If I want to learn how to make NFT for Nefties, how can we get help on this topic?
Okay, there are many things. You can go, there are a couple of videos published in the official NeftyBlocks YouTube channel. Not a lot, but we are working on creating more and more. You can go to the site of Any Observation. They have some tutorials. There are many creators from the community that have created a lot of videos, and we are also working on the NeftyBlocks documentation, and that should be published I think next week, which it will not be perfect, but it will be a good starting point to start creating your NFTs. You can also go to the NeftyBlocks Medium website, yes, and there are several tutorials there. The only thing is that they are kind of outdated because most of those are from when we started, and it's still me writing all the tutorials, and they have never been updated with all the changes that we have made to the tools, which happen almost every day. So
Yep. That and also RT Educators, I believe that you might have somebody that you might know that could possibly give you a little bit of help with that fact at some point in time, because I'm never in our Discord, and I'm never ever present in the NeftyBlocks Discord at all. I never help anybody out over there. I never make Juan laugh, or anything like that. No, that never happens. So
true.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's exactly a very good point. If you go to the NeftyBlocks Discord, you will always find someone who's willing to help.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would add too that having recently gone through the process, it's not particularly difficult. I had a few questions and was able to figure out the answers to them. The only one that I had trouble with was figuring out an IPFS server. And I did get that figured out. But if you're completely green, that would be the only sticking point I could come up with. Otherwise, it was pretty seamless and flawless and easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And Juan, I want to do just real quick here, if I could expand upon with the Betsy thing, because this was an observation we've had, for the past couple of years. We've been tracking almost everything on Wax and some other chains as well. As I think that's a big part of struggling projects or discontent with certain series, is that a lot of series, they're trigger happy with their NFTs. They'll mint one, they sell a bunch, and they mint another, they sell, and then all of a sudden they've minted 100 different NFTs, and then they just keep moving on to the next one, and they just ignore the first 100 and they never talk about them again. And Nick and I and our team, we made a point from the beginning. we are never going to do that, right? It's like we launched our founder's key, right? We're never going to abandon the founder's key. That's going to be like a critical NFT for the life of our project that'll have multiple layers of like benefits and, you know, utility to it. And it's just something I've seen way, way, way too much of. And I don't see as that many people talk about it, about like this, like the graveyard NFTs for that they just ignore. It's like I don't understand why people do that, right? But I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of that? Do you have any observation on that, I guess?
Oh, I have seen lots of those, and I really, I have to say that I really hate some creators, publishers, big ones, for doing that, because as you said, they are creating content, but they just move forward and they don't really care about what the community has in its inventory, and the things become worthless. And
Right.
and it depends on how you are as a collector, because for example, for me, I buy NFTs and basically I buy them and they are there and I don't really care. But there's people who really expects to sell that, and you see the value of your inventory. But the reality is that many of the oldest NFTs are worthless.
Yeah, and
Nobody will
it's
buy
not
them.
hard to reward your early supporters, right?
Exactly.
People that helped establish your brand, you know. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I didn't want to take too much time on that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And we are approaching the top of the hour, so you know what that means. That means that NeftyBlocks is going to go ahead and give me 30 of their top NFTs and transfer it to my. No, wait, that's a wrong cue card on that one. Sorry about that. No, that means we are about to go ahead call it a day here. But I would like to once again thank Juan and thank Jen and thank Dave for taking time out of the day to sit here and have a chat with a goofy old guy like me. And Jen, once again, fantastic job today. We really do appreciate the hard-hitting questions. And Juan, I'm going to go ahead, and since it's on the internet, it's going to be true. I am going to go ahead and make you a permanent offer. If you ever need any way to talk about things and you can't get a hold of your two staff, or you can't get a hold of anything, you always have a place on our show. You will be one of our more permanent members. And David, I'm going to go ahead and ask you a question. Answer doesn't have to be now. For one of the first staking partners, think we could get these guys over here?
Yeah, I think we could do something there. Yeah, and again, Juan, I'm not kidding about verification. You know, if you have people that like people that want to start a collection and you're talking to them, you're like, we need some more, just, you know, evidence, proof of your identity, stuff like that. And they don't want to do their own YouTube channel. They don't want to, you know, do a cell phone or whatever. We'd be happy to have them on the show. And because we'd like to do that anyway, you know, talk about what they're launching and, you know, just help further the ecosystem and make everybody play together a little better. So
exactly. Yeah. It's a way to get the littlest voice, the loudest megaphone that we can offer.
Yeah. All right.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I really enjoyed being here.
And we enjoy having you at all times. And don't forget to go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button, because I want that 100 subscribers so I can get that URL. The last time I tried telling somebody that URL, I pretty much sprained my tongue. My God, I couldn't do it.
Yep.
And don't forget that we also have our own little NFT line, courtesy of the people over at NeftyBlocks. Our founder's key is still running. It will be running until June, correct?
June 10th, yeah.
June 10th. All righty. We have our little Discord channel here. Feel free and stop by and ask us questions, or you can yell at me for making too many bad jokes. You know, either way, it's all good. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody here, and I'd like to thank everybody that's watching now, in the future, and maybe eons in the future and stuff like that. Thank you for participating, and thank you for being part of EverSmart Labs, and thank you for being part of NeftyBlocks as well.